Oath or affirmation of citizenship. I swear or affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada, her heirs and successors, and that I will faithfully observe the laws of Canada and fulfill my duties as a Canadian citizen. Black Laws, Edition 9, Monarchy. A government in which a single person rules, with powers varying from absolute dictatorship to merely ceremonial. Black Laws, Edition 9, Subject. One who owes allegiance to a sovereign, and is governed by that sovereign's laws, the monarchy's subjects. A Canadian citizen, when you take that designation, it means a person. A person. It does not indicate a human being. And that person owes allegiance to Her Majesty. That's what a Canadian citizen is. And a Canadian citizen is a subject of the Queen. Now when you look in Black Laws, the word monarchy, you see that it states monarchy is a government in which a single person rules. So when you come to the Canadian Citizenship Act, when a person is supposed to take a pledge, they pledge their allegiance to Her Majesty, the Queen. Now, here it says monarchy is a government where one single person rules. Well, if the Canadian citizen is pledging their allegiance to the Queen, who do you think is actually ruling Canada in the background? Canada, the Bank Act, an act respecting banks and banking. Her Majesty, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate and House of Commons of Canada, enacts as follows. Now, therefore, Her Majesty, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate and House of Commons of Canada, enacts as follows. Statutes, regulations, and enactments, these have been given force of law, and they are meant to control a person. Now we know that a person is a subject who owes allegiance to the Queen. So when we look into these statutes, regulations, and enactments, we shouldn't find it funny, or we shouldn't find it confusing that in these statutes and enactments it states this: Her Majesty, or the Queen, therefore enacts such and such laws. So the law itself is stating that it is the Majesty, the Queen, who is giving these laws royal assent, or power, or operation. So we are considered, or here in Canada, you are considered a person, a citizen of Canada, a Canadian citizen who owes allegiance to the Queen, and it is the Queen who is enacting or putting forth laws, rules, and regulations that your legal person must follow. A monarchy structure is where one person rules, and that one person who rules is called the sovereign. The sovereign. Well, here in Canada, the sovereign is called Her Majesty, the Queen of Canada, as written in their own laws. Now, a Canadian citizen, he owes or she owes allegiance to the sovereign. You have no choice. You do not have a choice in the matter. If you take the designation of a legal person, a juridical personality, you are under obligation because you are considered to have pledged your allegiance to Her Majesty, and you must follow her rules. Now, you must follow those rules that are found in the statutes, enactments, and regulations. And you'll notice that when you go into the statute, enactments, and regulations, it is indeed Her Majesty that is apparently, or that is, we are being told, that are enacting these rules and regulations. So, very clear. And through all this, you as a legal person, under that designation, you have no choice. No choice. You are considered in law, whether you like it or not right now, under that designation as a subject who owes allegiance to the Queen. You may not like the monarchy, you may not have anything to do with the monarchy, but on paper, legally, documented, and accepted, that is who you are. Now, you do not have to live under that designation, you do not have to accept that designation, But first you must wake up to the fact that that is indeed what you are being classified and what you are considered when you are dealing with this government structure. We used to be taught to sing a song, and that song goes like this: O Canada, our home and native land. Home and native land. And a native means a person, not a human being, a person who is a citizen. Now very clearly made the distinction. Who is a citizen of a particular place, region, or nation by virtue of having been born there. So when you sing that song, O Canada, our home and native land, when you come to that word native, that's what you are expressing. A person, artificial, legal, who is a citizen. And that citizen, remember, owes allegiance to the Queen. Black Laws, Edition 9. Command. An order, a directive. In legal positivism, the sovereign's express desire that a person act or refrain from acting in a certain way, combined with the threat of punishment for failure to comply. Commands are orders backed by threats. It is, in virtue of threatened evils, sanctions, that expressions of desire not only constitute commands, but also impose an obligation or duty to act in the prescribed ways. The next line to that song says, True patriot love in all thy sons command. Command. So, she's ordering you to love her. That's what she's doing. An order, a directive. In legal positivism, the sovereign's express desire that a person act or refrain from acting in a certain way, in a particular way. So when she's saying, in all thy sons command, her love, she wants you to express this. It's the sovereign's will and desire that a person act like this. This is very funny, because how many times have we sung that song on a personal level, on an individual level, and never really realized what that song was stating or what it was trying to imply? But when you start to have an understanding and a grasp of what's going on here in Canada, and you look at that song again and you listen to it, you can hear what it's saying. It's kind of ridiculous. You are considered a juridical personality. You are. And that juridical personality is a Canadian citizen who is a subject to the Queen and owes allegiance to that Queen. Now, that subject must serve her. That's what you're doing in life right now. Whether you understand it or not, you are serving the Queen, you are serving her, you are serving her realm through her enactments, which are the laws, statutes, regulations. And she will, Her Majesty will confer, she'll give you certain rights and freedoms, certain privileges that you will pay for. So this is the structure of your life right now. Whether you've grasped that or you haven't yet, that is exactly what is going on. This is your designation here in Canada. This is what you are doing. You are not a free human being. You are not a free woman or a free man. So in reality, she gives you rights and freedoms and privileges, such as driving, fishing, all of these things that you must pay for in the form of a license or a permit or other means. For example, she lets you have water come into your house if you pay a tax account. Then she'll give you water to drink and water to wash yourself in and keep you alive. If you own property, you're a legal person, and you want water, you're subjected to paying a water tax, a tax account. That's how gracious this system is. Now, she will control you through her agents, that is through the government, and you are not free. You are very limited and prescribed. And that's what your life consists of here in Canada. Now, a human being A human is totally not part of this system. There's so much more rights and freedoms that are attached to a human being, it's not even funny. A human being is recognized and is born free, and is not a subject of Her Majesty. A human or a man is not even a subject of God. He's not under the obligation to follow God or to pledge his allegiance to God. He's totally free. He can, if he chooses to, become a subject of God or a subject of Her Majesty. That's a choice, but the human is born free. The human being has intrinsic rights and freedoms that are recognized and that are part of our nature. It's part of who we are. That's what a human being is. Qualified in a certain degree. That's not a complete explanation. That's just a small starting explanation. But nevertheless, you see the difference compared to what a subject of Her Majesty is, what an artificial person is, what a Canadian citizen is. The difference in operations available for them.